everyone. It is Heather with the Old Schoolhouse, and I am so excited to be with you for a special Roundtable Homeschool Live. I am joined today with the publisher of the Old Schoolhouse, Gina Suarez, and Lauren Bordeaux of Homeschool HQ. This is an innovative app, an incredible resource for the homeschooling community. I'm so excited to hear more about it. Thank you so much for joining me today, ladies.
Thanks for having me.
So, Lauren, can you please just start and dive right in and tell us a little bit, what is the Homeschool HQ app? Why was it created?
Yes. So the Homeschool HQ app is a first of its kind homeschool resource app. It's the first type of app that was created to help homeschoolers find resources locally and nationally in their area. And we created this app because we needed one. We needed an app like this to help us find the resources that were available in our community that we might not have known were there. And homeschooling the homeschool community has really been a word of mouth sharing community, where we have, asked our new homeschooling friends, what classes do you do? What co-ops are you a part of? And you just might not get all of the opportunities out there from the conversations with the people you have met. So that's what we're trying to fulfill, the need we're trying to fulfill with the app. So yeah, we're excited about it.
I love how this was creative out of a need that you were jumping into homeschooling and you said, hey, this is something that we need to find. This is something that isn't out there, so let's create it. And I absolutely love that approach.
Yeah. We actually started homeschooling right when the pandemic happened, and we had been planning to homeschool, but our kindergartner, that was just so happened to be the year she would be starting kindergarten, our oldest child. So we started then, and we had just moved also. So we had just moved. We didn't really know anybody, and all the resources had stopped. All the classes had stopped. Co-ops were put on hold. Nobody was, adding new people to things. So we kind of just felt like our homeschooling journey was kind of on hold. Mm-hmm. Like we could do everything we wanted to at home, but I'm a very social person. My kids are very social people. So we really needed to find resources outside of our own home. And thankfully we found some friends that were willing to kind of like come alongside us and do some work together. But I knew that I needed more, and I really wanted to find a better way to do it. So that's how the whole app came about.
So Jeannie, you've been homeschooling, you graduated some, you're still homeschooling some, and so you've been in this a little while, and this is new. Wouldn't you agree? What are your thoughts on this new technology?
Well, yeah, and apps are definitely something that have been around for a while, but I haven't seen a homeschool app like this one until now. And I think it would have been something when I was homeschooling my first batch of kids, 10, 20 years ago, it would have been great to have something like that. Of course, back then there really weren't any apps. It was just kind of coming on the scene after that. So I do view it as it is infancy, what you're doing. Lauren, is actually, you're right there. You're going to ride that wave because it is, when you look at the long-term projections, this is in its infancy. It's new. And I don't know of any other homeschool app like it at all. And I've run into you at homeschool conferences and places like that. And have you, in my mind, well, there's two things I was going to say. One thing is, when I think of your app and when I think about the objective, the one word that comes to mind for me is community. And we're big on that. That's why we're doing what we're doing over here in the schoolhouse model and whatnot. It's about community. And the new homeschool mom today, the younger moms, they are so all over that. Look at the MOPS conventions and how massively swamped they are. And there's a reason for it, because these new moms want to homeschool with their friends and they want their children to also have friends. And so when you pick up an app like what you are offering, that's the word that's going to come to their mind too. They're looking for community and they're going to say, here's how I can get it for sure. So I think it's great. I'm excited about it.
Thank you. Yeah, community is a huge part of why we created the app. Mm-hmm. And we didn't create it as a social media. There's a lot of social media already on the market, mm-hmm. but we wanted to give homeschool families a way to find in-person community by giving by giving them the opportunity to find the classes that are in their area, the co-ops that are in their area, Bible studies that have homeschoolers, scouting troops that have lots of homeschoolers, so that families can build their friend groups that actually meet and have fellowship in person, which is very different from this online social community. And I think you guys are really hitting the nail on the head with what you are doing with the schoolhouse community. It's very similar part of homeschooling, getting that in-person community. I think it's important.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover. But the other thing too, I've noticed, because we've been doing what we're doing for 23 years. And so we've seen generations kind of come and go. And it's been interesting to watch that just from like a marketing, the demographic has changed greatly. And I do feel that, when we started, there was no social media, not really. I mean, Facebook was around, but nobody was using it yet, except like on the college campuses. And so it was so new. Blogging, we were doing like Zanga. Remember Zanga, blogging community?
Yes, and MySpace.
MySpace, exactly. And so people were they were starting the whole blogging revolution. And so we came out with homeschoolblogger.com for the homeschool community, and that thing blew up. We had 20,000 members, boom, just like that. And that was cool, while it lasted. But I really believe that social media will always be around, but I think that more and more people are wanting to kind of pull away from that a little bit. Like what you said a minute ago, you can only get so far on social media with your friend groups and with fellowship and just communicating with other moms, and especially with these new mamas that want to be with other moms, and they want their children to have these meaningful relationships and to grow up homeschooling together in community. And so this app allows for those moms to just get in, and they can plug in right away, right? I mean, they would technically be able to get into it and that afternoon be at an event local to them.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a calendar function. So if you find a class and you're like, oh, I can't forget to add this to my calendar, you can click a little calendar button, add it straight into your Google, Apple calendar right into your phone, so you can remember to go to that. There's also a little like favorite button where you can favorite an activity or co-op or a convention that you want to go to, and that lives on like your homepage. So you can remember to attend those or follow up on something. Remember to go register for those things. And I have so much that I want to do with the app in the future, in our future updates, in being able to like connect users together in the app, to go to things in person, be able to message each other, be able to share conventions and things, and be like, hey, do you want to share a hotel for this convention? And just make it easier to connect with your homeschool community. I don't want any homeschooler out there to quit because they were lonely and because they couldn't find the resources that they needed. So I really hope that we can help them.
And there's really no reason that they could not find something. We hear that all the time, where new moms who are homeschooling or maybe they've moved to the area and they are lonely. They desire that, building relationships for themselves and their kids. And with that app, I mean, yes, you can get on social media, but I tell you the truth, I have seen so many homeschoolers flooding the opposite direction. They're moving out of social media. They're leaving Facebook. They're going to other, and there's other technology is allowing for new. There's always going to be the latest, and something like this. It's kind of funny because you can use the existing social platforms to find something like your app and then make use of it. Whereas before, maybe 10 years ago, the Facebook groups were more bustling and booming, where you could put a notice up there, hey, I'm in such and such town, you want to do a meetup, and you would get. But I've seen, even in the last 3 years, that has changed a lot. A lot of moms are not on Facebook anymore. Yeah. And they are on their apps. The new homeschool mom, the younger mom, the millennial mom, we call it click and scroll. And I mean, they're smart. They're making use of what they have right in front of them. So technically they could that very same day end up in an event, some sort of a local, as this thing builds out. So are you in all 50 states? Our audience is national and even global. So if someone's watching this, we'll put it up on YouTube and Facebook, and people can come back and watch it later. We'll point to it. What if they live in Alaska? What's the answer?
Yeah, so the app is available for download in the US and Canada.
Mhm.
And the app platform is actually user populated. So it gives homeschool families a safe and supportive platform to share their favorite resources, classes that they're part of, or even classes that you might teach, co-ops that you're in. It gives a safe place for that. And so we do not have resources in every state yet. It's something we are working toward, and we just ask that homeschoolers come alongside us and go into the app and start adding those resources, because it will give other homeschool families the opportunity to find those things that they might not have known about, and make it simpler and easier to find them, so they're not searching across multiple websites with old information, asking on 15 different Facebook groups,
Mhm.
hey,
Mhm.
how do I find this? What types of things are in my area? And it also gives kind of a simpler way to go about researching without a lot of different people's opinions. So you can like do your own research, connect with the director of a program, say, can you please tell me about this, without 15 people on a Facebook post saying,
Right,
this is why I didn't like that,
right.
this is why I didn't like this.
Mhm.
Um, so it's just a different way to go about sharing homeschool resources and finding homeschool resources. And it's also, there's safety measures we have put in place. It is a subscription platform. It's only $19.99 a year. So it's really affordable, but that gives us a measure of safety for our users and the resources that are on the app.
Right.
And there's also, we used to have a discount called discount section, but we now have a vendor hall where those same vendors can offer discounts. So it's just simplified a little bit better with our last update. It came out like last week.
Mhm.
Um, so you can, if you take advantage of the discounts that are on the website, that are on the app, it's going to make up for the
It's
19.99.
gonna more than pay
Yeah,
for itself. Of course it
yeah.
will. And it could do that in
So
the first week that you used it. Actually, if you're doing your shopping, if you're doing your homeschool shopping, and these parents, they go to conventions, they should go to conventions. We highly recommend, especially go to your Christian State Homeschool Convention. But it's never
mhm,
gonna change where moms are gonna make their purchases online as well. They're
mhm,
looking. And again, if in an app where it is kind of a safe place where there's privacy and they're able to speak with the vendor, the owner of the company, perhaps even the same
yeah,
people that they might find at a homeschool convention in the vendor hall, right?
exactly.
They're able to connect and talk about ask questions, get their concerns answered or whatever, and even make the purchases within the app. Is that right?
Not yet, but
Okay.
that is a plan
Okay.
for a future update, possibly the next update. We just launched an update last week, has
Mhm.
made the app much more user friendly, and has kind of combined some categories just to make our resource category a little bit simpler.
Mhm.
So that is a plan in the
Okay.
future. So we're working with the app and seeing what we can do with it. So I'd really like to be able to take payments, registrations for classes and different opportunities,
Mhm.
or products right through that. That
Yeah.
it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
as it spreads throughout the country and in Canada,
mhm.
homeschoolers talk to homeschoolers. They talk and they tell each other, they say, well, where did you hear about this? Well, they're going to tell them. That's what moms do. And we've seen it over and over. That's when you have a good product that emerges in the marketplace, it blows up if it's good. And so I can see that happening as this continues to grow. Um, what else do you have planned in the works? So what's coming? What's not there on the app yet, but you are hoping to add in the
Yeah.
near future?
Yes. Well, one of the things I wanted to mention was that we have a map feature, so you can go into the app. It pinpoints where you're located, but we don't share your location. We don't track or share any of your data, which adds another safety measure, but it's only so that you can see what's in your area.
Mm,
So in each of our categories, you can click into the map and see what's in whatever mileage area you want to search in. But in a future update, we will have one complete map so that you can see everything from every category and in the vendor hall around your area in whatever mileage you choose.
Nice.
So I'm really, really excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest thing we're going to be doing is group administration through the app. So co-ops will be able to administrate their co-op through the app, sending out assignments, their syllabus, all of your dates for your school year, all of your field trips, and you will be able to have separate messaging groups for different field trips and different parts of your group, different classes. So we are very, very excited about that. We got a lot of feedback at the conventions we attended that said we need a better way to administrate our co-ops. There's just nothing good out there right now.
Right.
And we're like, okay, let's try to make this happen. So that is our plan for our next update.
That's so good. That is so good, because with past co-ops I've been in, and not to bash Band, but we've used Band. You may have heard of Band. I don't love it. I don't think that they're bad, and I don't think that they're a crummy service at all. But I just personally did not love it. And I know families have also tried to use Facebook, but then you had this mass exodus out of Facebook, and so that doesn't work as well. So I can see where there would be a void, a vacuum in the demographic for that as well. So that was a good. That was a good suggestion someone gave you.
We had like a lot of people come up to us and say, hey, does your app do this? And we said, no, but let's figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So that is in the pipeline. And I was going to say something, but I forgot it. That's what I'm most excited for about our future updates. And we've got many things down the line. We added a lot of things with this last update. My favorite thing is the digital teacher ID that you can if you have the Costco app, it's very similar to that, where you can use your Costco app to open your membership card to show when you go into the door. So we have a digital teacher ID that now every user gets a customized teacher ID in the app. You can just open it up and show it for discounts at stores, museums, field trip opportunities, any place that you've previously used teacher IDs or that you've wanted to use one. We will have that in the app for you. And you can go and change like your photo. If you're already a user and you're like, oh, I don't have a great photo, you can go in there, change your photo to like kind of professional teacher photo. You can add your homeschool name or like your umbrella school name, whatever kind of you want your like header to be on the ID. And then we like generate a number for you and the year that the next school year will be. And you can show that anytime you want a discount. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah.
I feel like you've already added so much since I started downloading the app a few months ago.
Yeah.
I was just so excited to see all the activities on there. And when I first started homeschooling, I don't know if you are like me, if you just Googled homeschool activities, that doesn't work. Because what you have on the app is not just going to be labeled homeschool activities, right? You mentioned other activities such as, scouts, or, it could be a museum that offers a class that's not going to necessarily show up in a Google search. So you've done the hard work for homeschoolers saying this could be used. And so you have these new homeschoolers, maybe like you, who started since the pandemic, and they're new to the concept of what homeschooling is. It doesn't have to just be a homeschool convention and co-op where you receive your community. There's other options out there. There's field trip ideas that can be added. Can you maybe give some examples of things that have already been added as ideas for homeschoolers to use in their
for sure. So like you mentioned, the field trip ideas, there's a whole field trip ideas section, and that's not specific field trip opportunities like this museum's having a homeschool day. Not that. It's like the location where you could take a field trip. And we're going to be growing that section. So if you're traveling, there's a lot of RV schoolers or if you're just taking a road trip or you're going to visit family and you're like, I would love to incorporate some homeschooling while we're traveling, you can click into the field trip ideas and see what is in that area and plan out all of your field trips for while you're traveling, or even for the whole school year. Say, okay, I'm studying this and this and this, and I want to see what is in a 2-hour radius of me. Let me see what's in there. So I think that is an awesome like resource that we have in there, and we're going to be building that out more. I mean, our users, like, please just add whatever you know, because obviously we don't know all the cool stuff that's out there. There are tiny little places that offer the coolest things. I mean, this isn't in the US, but we used to live overseas, and we drove to Denmark, and we found the coolest Viking museum in the middle of nowhere. And it was so neat. And those are the types of things that I would love to have on the app. Like, homeschoolers, you guys know what's out there. Like, this is the best place to share it with your friends. It's not going to get lost in the deep depths of Facebook. You're not going to have to search so hard to find these things. So please share them. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Another one is military resources that we just added. We're actually a military family. My husband is in the Navy, and he built the app from scratch. It's really cool. So he's in the Navy, and we both have military like history in our family. I grew up in the Air Force, so we both know how difficult it is to move a lot. And the homeschooling military community it's almost even more difficult for them, because they're packing up and finding a new homeschool community and finding the new co-ops that are out there. So we really want to make that easier for them. And obviously you can already use all of the other resources that are available, but the military resources are going to be very military specific. So we're building that out. If you're a military family and you know of some military resources, please go drop those in there, because we really want to serve you guys, especially as being a military family. So
I just saw an article just in the news yesterday about the military and how they are really supportive of homeschoolers. And I grew up in the military too, Air Force brat here, lived in Germany as well, like you guys. And if there was something like that back when I was a kid, and being able to open up an app, because you're right, you can't put that on Facebook and expect it to stay up at the top where people can find it. You're gonna have to scroll for a year to find some of these things that they're placed, sometime back. So do you call that section something specific, like road schooling, or not the military one, but the first one we were just talking about, the field trip one?
It's called field trip ideas.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So field trip. And that's a common term. There's just a lot of families that I'm telling you, you can go on Facebook and find families, massive groups of homeschool families who are camping. And that's all they do. I met a lady last night who came to church, and she and her daughter are living out of their RV, and they are just they're going across the country and hitting, what an education, right? I will be telling her about this app. I will be seeing her Saturday and telling her about it's perfect for her,
Yes, that is such a fun way to homeschool. We have a camper. We don't drive it around full time, but it is very cool to like be able to find homeschool activities and things to do while we're taking our camper out. And we can drive that thing wherever we want to. So go find the random things in the middle of nowhere. And
and if you're homeschooling, you have time to do it. You're not tied to a school system, so you can do it. Pick up that app and go figure out what you're going to do every week. It's exciting. So how would a mom actually start adding stuff to it? So she would have to first download the app, get the subscription, and then is there probably pretty explanatory an pathway for her to start adding things, correct? Not just searching, but adding things?
Yes, it's very simple. When you open the app, there is a big red addition button, little add button. And then you can click which category you want to add into. What used to be called the co-op section is now called group learning, just so it can encompass hybrid schools and co-ops and all the different types of group learning opportunities that there are now.
Yeah.
Or enrichment, and that's classes, homeschool days, meetups. You can plan your own playground meetup. Like, say you want to meet more homeschool families in your neighborhood, you can say, hey, we're going to meet at this park on this day, and you can even make it reoccurring. So like every Thursday. And you can add into, there's a parent events now, and that's like opportunities for moms to get together. It could be like book sales, or moms retreats, different opportunities like that. So it's very intuitive. It feels like social media, but it's not social media. You're just going to click that button, pick which category you're going to add into, and then fill out all the pertinent information. One cool thing we do have is we have optional tags in each of our entries. So you can choose faith-based, secular, and or special needs. And we really wanted to make sure to put that special needs tag in there so that we could serve special needs families. It can be difficult to find the opportunities for your special needs student. You have to do a lot more research to see like, okay, is my special needs student welcomed here? Is this an opportunity where they will thrive? So we hope that that really helps serve that community. So if you can, please tag at least one of those optional tags when you're adding something so that homeschool families can find really what suits their family the best.
Oh, yeah. You want to tag that too if you're trying to get the word out, because if a family who has special needs kids goes in and does a search, those are the ones that are tagged like that are going to come up. Those are going to pop up for them. And so if that's what you want, if you want to get the word out, tag everybody,
Yeah.
Just for marketing purposes. So Heather, what else?
Well, I just would love to know, Lauren, you've been working with the homeschooling community and homeschooling yourself. Do you have any advice maybe that you could give to parents for their homeschooling students?
Yeah. I've learned a lot along the way. My biggest piece of advice, if you're considering homeschooling, is just to go ahead and try it. I think you'll find so many blessings in your homeschool journey. It's not every day is going to be easy, but not every day in traditional schooling is easy either. So just ride it through those difficult days and figure out routines that make your homeschool work. Make your homeschool work for your family. It doesn't need to look like a day at a public school. You don't have to do every subject on every day. You don't have to do every subject that public schools do. You can find a community to learn with other children. You don't have to if that doesn't work for you. But it does help to kind of take away some of the burden from you. Even if it's just a co-op where you are teaching something, you have other parents that are going to be teaching a couple of the other subjects, which is nice. Or like we're part of a tutorial, so I can kind of take my hands off of teaching for one day and get some help. And that's great too. So your homeschool doesn't have to look like everybody else's. You don't need to feel guilty if you're not doing something that somebody else is. You don't have to feel guilty if you don't have a homeschool room. Like use your couch, use the floor, whatever works for your family. That's totally fine. You don't have to have a huge budget. You can homeschool with a library card. Take your library card, gather some books, read books with your kiddos, do real math with everyday things. I think that's probably one of the biggest things is, make it work for you. And you can use our app to find a lot of those opportunities that will help kind of mold your homeschool into what is best for your family.
And that's really freeing. And I love that you created this app. I love that you provided it for homeschoolers everywhere and that they can find activities that they can use that meet their needs. Can you tell our audience how they can download this app?
Yes. So we are available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. So whatever type of phone you have, you can go find us, and you just search Homeschool HQ. It's one word, Homeschool HQ. Or there is a link tree, or going to be a link tree in the comments, and that has all of our download links, our social media links, and also our website. We're going to be revamping our website, and it's going to have some more helpful resources and information in our new website. But go follow us on social media. I have a lot of fun over on Instagram, but we're on all the other major social media too. So you can follow us there. But we'd love to have all of your listeners and everybody that's a part of your community as users on the app, and helping to share all of those great resources that they know about, and hopefully find something new for their family. We're really excited to see how this app grows, see where it takes us. I think it's already really helpful to the homeschool community, but the plans that we have, it's going to be super helpful in the future. So join us now and help us get there.
Awesome. It looks like this is for homeschoolers by homeschoolers, and I love that you're including everybody, that they can be a part and that they can include everything so we can all work together. And thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you, Gina, for joining us. I appreciate you tuning in, everyone, and we will see you next time on another Homeschool Live. Bye.
Thank you.